Okay, back to talking about collaboration. Usually when you're working on collaboration, you're going to start on the Review tab of your worksheet. And there are quite a few ways to share a workbook. The easiest, quickest way to share a workbook is to click Share Workbook. And if you see this error message, just like I'm seeing it now, you may have to go to your Trust Center settings and remove a checkbox. Now, I inspected this document. Let's re-inspect it and just see what's going on with it. Whoops. Let's re-inspect this document. And now right now it's saying there's no hidden content in here. Okay, so I should not be getting that message on the Review tab when I try to share. Let's just see. It's still giving it to me. So if this ever happens to you, go to File, go to Options, go to the Trust Center Settings, and what you have to do is go to Privacy Options and then get rid of the Remove Personal Information from File Properties on Save option. So it's a lot of steps. Let me go through it one more time. You go to File, Options, you click on Trust Center, over to the button that says Trust Center Settings, go to the Privacy Options, and make sure there's no check mark in Remove Personal Information from File Property Save. Okay, so now I can save this document. I'll click Save Workbook, and if you want to share a workbook, I think I think I just said save workbook, but if you want to share a workbook, this is the dialog box that comes up, and all you have to do is click to add a little check mark here that says that you are willing to allow changes by more than one user at the same time. And you can see right now it's me who's working on this workbook, and I'll say OK. And as you can see, it's a shared workbook. Now, when you want to see if you're working on a shared file or not, look up at the title bar, and right next to the title, you see the words shared. If I wanted to unshare this workbook, I just take out the check mark. And here's another way you can share a workbook. You can protect and share a workbook by clicking on that. This dialog box says share and track changes, and it gives you the option of a password. Now, the advantage to doing it this way is that if you're going to be sharing a document and you want to make sure that every change that people make is recorded and that they don't have an option of turning off the recording and then turning it back on, which would allow them to secretly change a number without you knowing it. You could do it this way, and then you'd have to use a password. I'm not going to use a password, but I'll say OK. And then notice again, I have a shared document. So I'm going to unshare it. Notice that if I unshare it this way, it's not going to allow me to just take that check mark. So I will click on this again, and now it's unshared, or it'll allow me to unshare it. There we go. Okay, now finally, you can also share a document by clicking on Track Changes, Highlight Changes, and then putting a check mark into Track Changes while editing. And notice it says this will also share your workbook. And when you want to share a workbook and track all the changes by everyone, this is a good way to do it too. I'll say OK and OK. And now what you'll notice again, my workbook is shared and it's going to track all the changes that people make. How does it know who's making changes? Well, the computer knows who you are based on what's in File Options and in this username box. You can see that my name's typed in here. So that if I add a comment to this document, it shows the comment as having originated with me, and I'll just type something here like this is a lookup. And notice that I've got show all comments selected. If I toggle that off, the comment is still there, but you only know it's there because there's a little red triangle at the corner, and if I hover over it, it becomes visible, but if I hover away, I don't see it. And that's kind of a nice place to, or a nice setting to use, because otherwise you can cover up a spreadsheet with a lot of comments. You can also show them though when you want to read comments. Okay, the other way it's going to track changes is if I change a figure. So for instance, if I think somebody transposed 257 and it should have been 275, I can say 275.47 and make that change. Now notice that it's not highlighted as in yellow highlighter, but it's got a border on it, and if I hover over it, it'll say I changed it, what day and time, and what the original contents of the cell were. So now I'm going to save this document, and I'm going to try to trick this computer into thinking I'm another person also working on this document. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to right click on my taskbar and open up a whole other application of Excel. When you do this, it tells you that the personal workbook is locked as read-only, and that's fine. That's no problem. What you can see now is I've got one application of Excel open here and one open back here that's shared. Now, before I open up that shared document as another person, I'm going to tell it I'm a different person. So I'm going to go to File Options, and I'm going to tell this person I'm Weird Joe. And Weird Joe is also going to open up the document called Purchase Orders, Letty. So I will choose File and Open. I'll go to the desktop where that is saved, and here's Purchase Orders, Letty. And now this file is open and Weird Joe's looking at it, and he can even see my comments in here. Notice he doesn't see the change that I made to that candy number. I think it's in this cell here. I mean, he sees the change, but he doesn't see what the original content of the cell was. And if Joe makes a comment now, it shows as being Weird Joe's comment. And Weird Joe isn't very nice. He yells at people and uses exclamation points to give people commands. But so you can see that now the computer thinks I'm Weird Joe. Well, I'm going to have Weird Joe make some changes. He says the software didn't cost $2. It cost 200,000. I don't think either one of those figures sounds very good, but he's making these changes here. Now, he's not even seeing his own changes tracked, but he could do. He could say, please highlight changes, who and when, everyone, and not just since I last saved, but all changes. And now, notice that it becomes possible to see my previous change on this cell, and it becomes possible to see his change. Okay, well, I'm going to stop the recording and have Weird Joe make a few more things, and then we'll come back and talk about how do you actually review and get a finished version of a file that's been marked up.